Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Raw Chaos coverage. I apologize. I took that right out of your mouth, but it is Phyro Productions joined by Furious Nation. Nick, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty well tonight, Pyro. First off, and I gotta tell you, I see a new haircut. Uh-oh, I think he froze.
Yeah. Haircut.
There we go.
Yeah, a little bit.
What's up with the
good?
sound?
Ah,
there we go. I was wondering what happened to your sound. Yeah,
this happens every time.
I got a new haircut there, Pyro. I see.
There. Okay, we're good now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got a haircut. I think it was last week, and it's feeling pretty good. And we're gonna hopefully keep it going. Usually I would slick back like CM Punk has, kind of like CM Punk type of do from 2012, but it's not slick back today. So haircut and new me. I'm having a lot of stuff that's new about me lately. So we are moving with life with where the hell it wants to bring me.
Yeah, and man, we got Raw to talk about. We got Money in the Bank qualifiers. We got, though, I can't say the date. I mean, it's Kane Day, May 19th. I mean, sorry, I said it. So,
yeah.
Yeah, Raw May 19th.
I mean,
Raw May 19th.
Like multiple today.
Yeah, the Raw May 19th edition of Raw tonight. We got Money in the Bank qualifiers for the Raw side tonight. We got one women's triple threat with Roxanne Perez, Becky Lynch, Natalya. Nice triple threat with Roxanne winning. The other one with Kairi Sane, Zoe Stark, and Rhea Ripley. Not very clunky. And man, I feel really bad for Zoe Stark. And I am telling you right now, I would be very surprised if it's not a torn ACL, which I really do think it is, which means she'll be out for nearly a year, and that sucks. But we'll talk about it. But before we get into Raw, first things first, hit the like on the video and subscribe to not only Furious Nation, but the Hardcore Sports as well. Hit the bell for all notifications. Go follow me on social media like X. Go follow Pyro on X as well. Be greatly appreciated. And
Absolutely.
Eric and the Joker, Wrestling Asylum, was with the OTT podcast. He's maybe an update. They said she re-injured the knee they fixed last time. Fuck. Regarding Zoe Stark, by the way. So basically, the surgically repaired knee she got injured. I think it was NXT Halloween Havoc, 2021 NXT during the 2.0 era of NXT, where she was in that last match and she injured her right knee. So it's that same surgically repaired knee she injured again. Man. That's true. Holy fuck, that sucks. I feel terrible.
Yeah, those injuries.
I'm not a big Zoe Stark fan, but I feel terrible for her. Like the spot,
and
like
any kind of injury.
It was that drop kick, like that sliding like drop kick or whatnot at Springboard. That drop kick she tried and miscue at Kairi Sane, and you just see the leg did not. It didn't. It looked bad. It looked pretty ugly, and you see her screaming and favoring her right knee. I'm like, fuck. So that's a shame. So that she's gonna miss nearly a year of action, and just I don't know. This is second time overall. Like for overall time in WWE, she was injured once in NXT, but the first injury on the main roster, total of 2 injuries. At this point, can you really trust her to stay healthy at that point? Look what happened to Dakota Kai. Look what happened to Tegan Nox. All the potential in the world to Tegan Nox, yet she was injury prone. I hope Zoe Stark is. I don't know. One more injury after this, man, she's on the chopping block. I hope not, but I just wish that woman a speedy recovery, and hopefully we get her back relatively soon. But that I would never wish injury on anyone, and that's a damn shame.
I completely agree with you, and I mean, injuries happen. It really does. problem is certain ones, like a knee injury, those are very sensitive ligaments. And so when you have
One
an injury like
ECL.
that, I'm shocked we still have Seth Rollins as long as we have. Because something like Seth Rollins has faced for most of his career, he should never have been able to recover. Or
I mean,
Triple H.
a torn ACL is usually out 9 months to a year.
Correct. And
Eight,
it's just
9 months to a year. So she will probably miss the Rumble, probably most likely, and she's probably going to miss WrestleMania. I mean, not a big star, not a big name as Zoe Stark, but it's a damn shame nonetheless.
yeah. Yeah.
And Eric also brought up, and I agree with him, it's not Zoe's fault. She actually went for the move and she missed it due to bad timing. And I think Kyrie was meant to take it, I think. Yeah, I think so too. The match with Kyrie, Rhea, and Zoe, it was. I love all three ladies, but the match was a clusterfuck. Something was off. Like miscue was off, and it just was very clunky, and it was a big clusterfuck. It was not a good match at all. I'm sorry, and I really think Kyrie Sane was supposed to win and qualify since she came back tonight for the first time since January when she got injured. And who's to say they didn't have to? And who's to say they didn't call it audible and they had no choice but to call an audible? Because I don't think Rhea was supposed to win tonight, because I think Kyrie was going to win, qualify, and Zoe eat the pin from Kyrie. But now that Zoe Stark is injured, now they have to change plans. And even though they don't want to, there's no choice. And I thought they'd do Rhea and Io for the women's world title at the Money in the Bank PLE, but they may have to delay it for now.
Yeah.
Because of Zoe's injury. It sucks.
Yeah, it definitely does. I hate when that happens to really anybody, especially with potential. But
I don't know.
Hoping for recovery and
it's such a damn shame.
Yeah.
But we start the show off with Logan Paul. He's booed in Greensboro, South Carolina, which was a great crowd tonight, by the way. Love Greensboro.
South Carolina always, yeah, always was always with South Carolina.
Dude, they were so good tonight, so much so they had a "Let's Go Natty" chant. Let's go Austin. Let's go Theory. In Greensboro. Yeah, I kid you not.
Funny. I guess the South likes Austin Aries. Or not Aries, fucking Austin Theory.
Yeah, Austin Theory. Yeah, not Austin Aries. Well, you know, fuck him. Fuck Austin Aries.
Yeah, that's true. Like 10 years ago, we would have been like, oh shit, greatest motherfucker. But like everybody knew he was a locker room cancer.
Yeah.
He even in fucking Ring of Honor, the dude sucked.
Yeah, I mean, a good wrestler, but a terrible attitude, big ego.
Yeah.
It's Austin Aries had all the potential in the world, and he pretty much has burned bridges with wrestling. You know?
Like, I don't know if he's trying to be the next fucking ECW CM Punk, but I mean, or like a Jack Perry, but like the dude literally just had no care in the world for other people, and he always went to business for himself. If he was going to lose, it just felt like he felt like the Kyle Busch of Ring of Honor. He felt like if Kyle Busch was a pro wrestler, that's basically Kyle Busch in a nutshell. If like anybody doesn't know who that is,
he refused to put others over and do the job.
He did back when he was younger, and then all of a sudden, like, he would only do it to guys that he felt worth a damn. Like with Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was definitely, there was no problem there. Sometimes he would have issues with Bobby Roode. And then just guys like, you know, Johnny Impact, Johnny Morrison.
John Morrison. I just call him John Morrison, but he no-sold a Starship Pain, then he quit like a loser.
Pretty much. And it's like, dude, this fucking company gave you everything. Why are you being a
you no-sell John Morrison Starship Pain? It's very disrespectful.
Absolutely. And it's disrespectful to your opponent. It's disrespectful to the fans. And it's disrespectful for the company that let you even hold the title in the first place.
It's a fucking disgrace.
Yeah, like, I don't care if you're a pioneer. I don't care if you created Option C. I don't care if you are the champion because of company need. You're a company need, but you also need the company. That's the deal too. Like, the company needs you, but at the same time, you need the company.
Yeah. I mean, Austin Aries, look, great wrestler, but a terrible ego. Yeah. Probably like, I mean, I got to ask you, though, real quick, before we talk about the opening of Raw. Worst ego and the Indies, Austin Aries or Loki.
Damn.
You know, he was Kaval in NXT season 2 game show NXT.
I would say,
And he had a big mouth, a big ego.
but I would say at least
He
Loki
was
had
like
respect for the business.
he always put his foot in his mouth. Like no one liked him.
But I would argue that though. I would say at least he had respect for the business itself. That's my argument. Low-key, yeah. At least low-key, at least had respect for the fans and the business. He didn't really. I think the main issue was he was trying to get himself over as much as possible. Some guys will do that, like a CM Punk, or like at one point Maven had to be like that. Some guys, or Cena, even fucking Cena had to be like that when he did his Thugonomics style. Sometimes you would have to kind of go into business for yourself in order to get to the top. Sometimes you have to be selfish in order to give yourself the spot if you really want that spot. But overall, it's like you have Austin Aries. I don't think he respects the business at all. I don't think he respects anything other than himself. So I would say Austin Aries has the biggest ego.
Yeah. But anyways, back to the opening of Raw. We have Logan Paul come out. He gets booed. Gunther comes out. They talk about, you know, you're probably going to face me, Logan Paul, on June 9th on Raw for the world title. And he said, Logan Paul, you could be the first YouTuber to win the world title. And you say it's business. It'd be a great business decision. But for me, Gunther, it's personal. And it leads to Jey Uso from behind super kicking Logan Paul when he turns around, with Jey Uso staring down Gunther, and that was it. I think, especially the ending of Raw tonight, the last visual of the ending of Raw tonight, I think it's a given Logan Paul's not winning the title on Saturday. Because usually who stands tall at the end of a go-home show usually doesn't win on the big show. So I don't think Jey Uso's losing that title on Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, I don't think Logan Paul should ever be a world champion in the WWE ever.
And I don't know how you felt. Raw tonight felt very off. And listen, no disrespect to Jey Uso. It was great in the moment he won the championship at WrestleMania. I get it. Jey Uso was never meant to be a long-term world champion to begin with. But honestly, I think it's very soon the time to start talking about taking the title off of Jey Uso.
I agree.
I don't know about you. I'm really starting to not buy into Jey Uso anymore. I'm sorry. I mean, it was in the moment at WrestleMania, but now we're past that. And it's time to, because Triple H with Raw and SmackDown is like about the long-term storytelling and booking, especially long-term storytelling. You're not going to really get that with John Cena and Jey Uso as the WWE champion and world heavyweight champion. You're not. I'm sorry.
Okay, here's the deal. Here's
especially John Cena's heel turn has not been that good.
Well, here's how it all works. Here's how this all works. So the problem is timing. The problem is timing. And the problem also involves you can't have somebody who's over a year ago become a champion now. That is the problem that was faced. Cena, I think Cena's fine. I just think it's a slow build. I don't think we've given him enough time to really see what his character truly can become since this is his last year. I think it's fine. Personally, I do like his Cena's run. That part you don't need to touch, especially with the stuff with R-Truth. You had Orton versus Cena for the last time, most likely. You had the really good until it got to be... The match was good at Mania until it got to be where you have like 5 attitude adjustments, and then it ends with a championship busted on your skull.
Yeah, you had fucking Travis Scott, and The Rock should have showed up, and he did not.
I don't care about The Rock, but I don't think Travis Scott should have came out either. I just think overall, like, the ending could have been better. There should have been less. There should have been less finishers on Cody, but overall, like the match itself, without all of that, it was good. But the deal is, with Jey Uso, I never believed in him. Problem is, his ring skill ability is so bad. I didn't like how he sold tonight. I didn't like how he there were a few things that looked very just very sloppy. I'll say, going against Braun Breaker. That is a consistent basis. The only thing that the guy really knows what to do is get a crowd over a word that he's taken from other people. And while using moves, he's taken from other people. While using selling tactics, he's used from other people. When he beat Gunther with just a simple sleeper hold that is Gunther's finisher, pissed me off at WrestleMania. But other than that, like the only thing he really has is the crowd hype where everyone's just going yeet, yeet, which guess what? Was Jimmy's idea. So I don't like that he's a guy that kind of does what Cody does, where he just takes everybody's moves and takes everybody's ideas. And I don't like that he is somebody that just goes from being super popular last year to now just gets a world title shot, even though he doesn't really. I mean, I agree with you. I don't think Jey Uso has it. And it sucks saying that 1 month in a title reign that should be historic. But the problem is, it's not historic. I think at some point, not against Logan Paul, give him at least another month. Give him another month to figure it out. But at Money in the Bank or SummerSlam, you need to drop the title to at least either Braun Breaker or Seth Rollins. Or it could be Seth Rollins, or Braun Breaker could be holding the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah, and the Raw men's side for the Money in the Bank qualifier starts on Raw next week. I'm assuming Braun or Seth will be in. If one of them is in it, they're going to qualify, no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we move on to the opening match of the show, Penta and AJ Styles versus Finn Balor, JD McDonough. This was very good. We had McDonough and Balor win after El Grande Americano from the barricade tried to pull Mentis' mask and laid him out with the headbutt with the mask, probably that metal thing underneath the mask, and he laid out Penta. And then Penta's back in the ring, and he gets a coup de grace from Finn Balor. Balor pins Penta for the win. Balor and McDonough win this match against Penta and AJ Styles. Does Balor and McDonough. Very good stuff. What you think of this? And what do you think of this? Do you think we get some sort of with El Grande against Penta at Worlds Collide?
I think it'll be interesting. To be honest, I didn't really see that far into the show. I kind of got sidetracked today. Like I said, a lot happened this weekend, but I like what they're doing with the Judgment Day. I like what they're doing with Penta, and I like what they're doing with El Grande Marcano. Everybody is shaping into their own new person. It's the same thing as Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea Ripley is going into her new form. There's a lot of new forms we saw on Raw, and I think that might be why it got the heat that it did. I think that this Raw just kind of it felt like a revamp type of show instead of a go-home show where we're just revamping all these characters ahead of a pay-per-view. Same with Rhea, but even with getting Roxanne Perez in the Judgment Day, it felt a little bit awkward. But for Americano, El Grande Americano, for Penta, I think they're slowly building to become great characters and even better as they go. So those characters don't need to be revamped, but I think they are building to what they've already revamped for both guys.
Yeah. But Balor and McDonough win this. I mean, it's clearly going to set up Penta versus El Grande for Worlds Collide. Has to be. AJ Styles wasn't pinned here. We'll talk about the Judgment Day in a little bit, where I think that may go. But I thought this is good for what it was. Excellent tag match. But I will say, Raw tonight didn't have much story. I don't know what happened tonight. Something was off.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, tonight something was off. I don't know what it was.
I don't think they're finding a good middle ground right now. I think the problem is there's a lot.
I mean, they were good for the past several weeks coming out of WrestleMania. I don't know what happened tonight.
Well, I think Nick Aldis put
tonight felt very off.
I think Nick Aldis might have put his little SmackDown magic, made the show shitty, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of rebuilding, revamping of characters right now. That is what the problem is. You cannot revamp and you can't rebuild ahead of a pay-per-view.
And the pay-per-view was like, what, 3 weeks after Backlash? You need 4 weeks.
Correct. You need
3 weeks. It feels very rushed because you have 3 weeks Money in the Bank, and then 3 weeks after that you have Night of Champions, and a couple weeks after that for Evolution, which is rumored, then a few weeks after that SummerSlam in New Jersey. It just feels very rushed. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's why I think it was weird that we have Logan Paul and Jay, so I don't think there's anybody else right now. And I think that's sad because there's plenty of people on the roster way better than Logan Paul. But at the same time, like, I don't think there's anybody that can take the reins like Logan Paul did. And I don't think, or I mean, not Logan Paul, as like guys like Jey Uso, guys like Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, Sammy, Punk.
This is why we need a draft.
We could definitely benefit from a draft, but I think the problem isn't exactly the draft. I think we are combining too many people in one story, and that can cause a lot of issues. If you put, let's say, what we had tonight, so we had five people, 6 in total in one main event. Meanwhile, we have triple threat, we have tag teams, all that, all going on. Anything right now. That's a problem. That's a big problem. If you have people teams on that, your whole show is going to be not have enough power. Did I glitch out? Shit. What else?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with your audio tonight, but
it's the same. It's the same as always. I'm looking to get a new computer, but what I was trying to say is just when you're trying to get a card going, you can't just fill up the entire card as if you're having a battle royal. Like, you can't have 6 people in the main event. You can't have 3 people in the semi. You can't have a backstage promo with your biggest faction at the time, and you can't just you can't have multi people in one story. It doesn't give you enough power for your card and for stories. It's good that CM Punk, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso are doing their thing, but they don't need to be all 3 together. Get rid of Punk versus Rollins, and let Rollins or Breaker win the world title, and then things are going to get less awkward. So now you have more flexibility. A draft definitely would help, though, because I don't want to see constant same matches, and we've seen constant same matches, constant same stories too much.
Yeah, I feel like you move a LA Knight to Raw would definitely help a lot. Get him away from the bloodline. He could use a change of scenery. Move Rhea Ripley over to SmackDown. Could use a change of scenery. There's a lot of people on both brands that could, quite frankly, use a change of scenery and would freshen things up. And also the fact, I think once we get the belts off of Cena and Jay, then that's when things will start picking up. I do. Plus, Cody Rhodes is not back yet. Roman Reigns isn't back yet. Once they're also back on television, then that's when things will also pick up, I feel. But right now, like with Raw tonight, just something was very off. And Jey Uso is world champ. I like him, but it's just, I like Jey Uso, but him as a world champ, I just can't buy him as a world champ anymore. I'm sorry, I can't. It's time to get it off him soon. and he's not meant to be a long-term world champ anyway. He's losing it very soon, right to either Seth or Braun. One of them is taking that belt right off Jay very quick, very, very in the near future. I'm telling you right now. So Jay's Usos days as world champ are absolutely numbered. I could absolutely see Braun win the briefcase and take it right off Jay, as he should. Or Seth.
I could see that too. I can definitely see that. I think he deserves it. You don't see anybody else.
Look at the match with Braun Breaker and Jey Uso tonight. Let's look at that tonight. I feel like Braun felt like more of a world champ than the world champ Jey Uso.
Yes,
did.
I agree. I think Jey Uso had a few botches that made him look very, very, very loose. I think I think Braun Breaker told more of a story as a heel than Jey Uso could as a face.
Yes.
And when you're the world champion, when you're the face of Raw, you have to be on your fucking game. You cannot
exactly.
You can't just say yeet 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 and then just go out there and look like The Rock. You know, I feel like he looks like The Rock when he sells.
There's only so much you can do. It's like, I mean, and it's like the way he beat Gunther at Mania, it still doesn't sit well with me. How he tapped out Gunther in like 2 seconds, which was fucking terrible. Still a bad finish, and I mean, Jay was never meant to be a long-term world champ anyway, but I can't buy it. I can't take him seriously as a world champ anymore. I'm sorry, it's over. You know?
Yeah, no, I agree.
The sooner we take the world title off of Jey Uso, the better Raw's going to be. Because right now, he's just not doing it for me right now. He's just not. When you have him wrestle Logan Paul, like, look at the state of the world title for Saturday night's main event. Jey Uso, Logan Paul. I mean, look at where it was last year with Gunther, with Damian Priest, and Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre a year ago. And now we're to Jey Uso, Logan Paul.
Okay, and here's the difference. Here's the difference here, because, you know, I can see where people compare Damian Priest and Jey Uso. Damian Priest almost does look like a Undertaker ripoff. But the thing with that
he's more believable.
Yes, and that's the thing. Like he's more believable, but he has more than just a yeet. He has more than just a He is somebody who actually stands with a purpose. When Jey Uso goes out there, I see nervousness. I see the same stick. I don't see anything different, and I don't see a purpose. I see with Damian Priest, he's coming out with the boys and girls. He's coming out with, he's coming out with a lot of confidence. That's what you need as a champion. You need confidence. You need to go out there with a purpose. My sports psychologist has always told me, when I was in the class, is always be deliberate. Always be deliberate in everything you do. Yes. There was a lot of deliberacy. It wasn't just, I'm going to look like The Rock, where I'm just going to sell every freaking move done to me, get my ass kicked, and then just come back and try to win the match. That's why I never really liked watching Rock matches, because that's all he would do. He would get his ass kicked the whole match, have his Hulk up basically, and then do his whole stitch, which was the same shit every time. That's why I like Austin. You look at Rock, you look at Austin. Who was the difference? Confidence, deliberacy. You're deliberate. You are confident. You are changing things up. That is what we're seeing now. If you look at Damian Priest and Jey Uso, I can definitely see how they are that they are the same concept. And I would love to see another Jey Uso versus Damian Priest, but especially if the roles are reversed. If they ever make Jey a heel again, I would love to see face Damian Priest versus Jey Uso, and I would love to see Damian Priest as champion again, if I'm being completely honest with you. That's my thought on it. It's just I see a lot of almost like let's say Hogan and Piper. What was the difference with Hogan and Piper? Deliberacy and change. Hogan would never change up what he would do. Piper was always creative. That's why his matches with guys like Bret Hart, guys like Mr. Perfect, guys. He did. I think he did stuff with Sergeant Slaughter. He did stuff with Andre. um, Mr. T, like everything was deliberate with changes that made his gimmick work.
Yes.
You go out there and you're like, I fucking hate this guy. Why do I hate this guy? Well, he's doing shit I don't like. And it's the difference there that's like, he's doing this different. He's doing that different. But I don't like this difference because he's a heel. With Hogan, it's like, oh, it's the same thing. Yeah, hook up, brother. And it just, today it wouldn't work. Today it doesn't work.
And then people pick up on that and it gets very tired very quickly.
Correct. Cena versus Batista. Batista always doing the same shit. Cena changing it up almost every time until we did hustle, loyalty, respect bullshit.
Well,
the Fruity Pebble Cena.
And even like look at Jey Uso with the Yeet, and even the music. Like I see, he still has similar music to when the Usos were in a tag team together before they broke up. Like not even different good singles music that doesn't sound like Usos theme music, like Uso Penitentiary music.
Correct. And here's the deal. I think if they do this shakeup, if they do this draft, I think it has to be after Jey Uso loses the title. And it absolutely has to be Jey goes to SmackDown so that he can redo the tag team with Jimmy. The tag division needs it on SmackDown.
Or you could do it on Raw, because Raw, I feel SmackDown's is cooking on the tag division. Raw has like the Creeds, the New Day, the War Raiders, and it's not really lighting the world up.
I can see that. I can see that for sure.
And Raw needs all the help they can get in their tag team division department, like big time. Because look at what we're getting next week for the World Tag Team titles. The New Day versus American Made versus the War Raiders. I mean, who cares?
We've seen it. It's bullshit. It's filler. I could see that. I really could. I can really see that. And then I can really see
they're better together than they are separate.
What if we get this? I think this would be really nice. Do you remember Los Guerreros versus Shelton and
Charlie Haas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember when they had like ladder matches? They had really good. Oh, I think I lost you.
Yes.
There we go. Now you're back.
Mm-hmm.
But they had ladder matches. They had tag matches. I think I would fucking love to recreate that with the Usos versus American Made.
Yeah, it could work if they play their cards right, but I would absolutely love to see the Usos back together. I mean, Jimmy's doing all right, Jay's doing all right, but they're better as a tag team than they are singles, guys. I'll be brutally honest. And plus, Raw needs tag team help. Like they need all the help in the Raw tag. Like the Raw tag division needs all the help they can get. Adding the Usos, I think would be the right move.
Now, if they get back together, I don't want to see them.
We don't know what's going to happen if they have a draft this summer. Apparently, a draft is happening before SummerSlam this year. We don't even know what's going to happen with the draft, how they're going to do it, or who's going to go where.
I would absolutely love to see Jimmy go to Raw, so then we can get this stuff going. I think even if you do another rivalry with the Usos and New Day, you already know those guys have great chemistry together from nearly 10 years ago. Bring it back. Bring back that chemistry.
And the New Day have lost a lot of heel heat. Outside of the Hardys getting the New Day back to heel heat, outside the Hardys, you could do the Usos because they're so beloved as a tag team.
Yeah, right. Like I think Usos as faces, and I think if you keep the yeet going, don't stop it, but keep it going.
But make it both of them doing it, not just Jay. And then also you can have the New Day where they're just fucking boring now. Bring back what they had in 2016 and 2017. Bring that shit back. But you're flipping the role reversals, right? Or you're having role reverse basically.
Yes.
I would love that. And I think that's a great way to get even if you want to get Jey Uso and Jimmy more titles, have them go back and forth with the titles. That's how you should do it.
Yeah, because the New Day needs something. The War Raiders and American Made against the New Day is not going to work.
Yeah,
it's not. I'm sorry. You put the Usos back, I think it could work. So I would say the draft this year, definitely get Jimmy over to Raw and get him back with his brother Jay. and have
Hell
Jay
yeah.
drop the title, then get the Usos back together. Because
And
quite frankly, the Jay and Jimmy are better together than they are on their own.
And I do not want to see them ever split up again. If they're getting
That
back
was so
again,
dumb when they broke them up at SummerSlam in 2023. That was the dumbest thing that company could have ever done. The only reason they did that was for Jimmy versus Jay at WrestleMania 40, and that match sucked.
It was fucking awful. I mean, literally all it was
I was there live for that show for both nights
super kick.
WrestleMania 40 last year.
It was such a horrible match. It like some people love it because of the story, but like it was just so
super kick after super kick, Samoan drop after Samoan drop, Uso splash after Uso splash. I could know
me trying to surrender, be like, no, doing the typical heel bullshit, basically what like doing the fucking Roddy versus Hogan, doing Matt versus Jeff, doing all that. It was very. I would have rather have seen Rikishi come out, bro. Like that was a horrible ending to that match, and it was just a shitty match.
Yeah,
which is why it's the same thing that is the exact same thing that Jay is doing with his matches. It's the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, we got to get that belt off Jey Uso quickly. The sooner we do, the better Monday Night Raw is overall is going to be, and we can get our long-term story, Triple H long-term storytelling back on these shows again on Raw.
Yeah,
like
I agree, man. I would love to pitch that if I was ever in WWE. If I was in WWE, I'd pitch that tomorrow, like for real.
Yeah. But then we go to like backstage segments with Io Sky and Becky Lynch, and then Becky Lynch makes her way down to the ring for the upcoming match. Next upcoming match, we got Logan Paul, Seth Rollins backstage as well. We then get a women's Money in the Bank qualifying match with Becky Lynch versus Natalya versus Roxanne Perez, who Adam Pearce signed to Monday Night Raw. So Julia went to SmackDown from this past Friday. Now Roxanne Perez is on Monday Night Raw, which I think is a very good move for Raw. I mean, she's a big name. It makes sense for her to be on Raw, but that's a nice pickup for Raw, and I think she's going to do really good and big things on the Red brand going forward. She may, if Naomi's not in the Money in the Bank, I could absolutely see Roxanne Perez probably winning Money in the Bank. And also, apparently she's joined the Judgment Day.
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
There was a reason Balor and Roxanne were talking backstage the past several weeks, and they showed Easter eggs of that. There's a reason they did it. Now Roxanne's joined the Judgment Day, and Liv Morgan's also out for not for long. So maybe they have Liv Morgan turn face and feud with Roxanne.
I think we might see.
And like you said, maybe instead of Balor, and I thought about this tonight. I thought Balor would be kicked out of Judgment Day, go face. Maybe it's Dominic instead, and he has been getting over.
I think Dominic is going to end up.
What if they kick out Dominic and Liv out of the Judgment Day?
No, I think it's going to be Dominic breaking up with Liv and breaking up with the whole Judgment Day. I think that's what it's going to be.
Really? Because and Liv Morgan's not there. It's interesting.
Well, because you can't. I don't think you can turn Liv Morgan face. I don't think it's. I don't know how you can do that. She's too big as a heel. You need heels on Raw. The demonical, diabolical. There you go. The diabolical shit she's done in the past year. You can't turn her face yet, at least yet. But like, there's no turning. There's no turning right now.
But Roxanne, Becky, and Natalya, I thought these three ladies had very good chemistry with each other. Becky and Natalya always have good in-ring chemistry with each other. Roxanne didn't look out of place at all. She looked good in here with Becky Lynch and Natalya. There were some nice trading spots. A disarmer crossface, like traded submission attempts with Becky and Roxanne during the beginning of the match. That was nice. There was like another spot. Roxanne Perez did a double suicide dive to the outside to both Natty and Becky, which was a nice spot. We have Becky Lynch about to win, and then Lyra comes out and attacks Becky Lynch, and she cost Becky Lynch the match and to qualify for Money in the Bank. Then we get Pop Racks delivered from Roxanne Perez to Natalya as Roxanne gets the 1-2-3, and Roxanne Perez is qualified and is going to Money in the Bank to join Alexa Bliss.
Woo!
I was very worried Becky Lynch was going to win this, but I'm very glad she didn't win and Roxanne winning was definitely the right move.
I really appreciate Becky Lynch right now. She is putting so many people over, and that's big for someone as big as Becky. She's still a great superstar, but I really appreciate when she knows where her ego's at and doesn't put it in the ring. Lets other people shine. That's how you learn. That's how you get big shots that you deserve. And I really appreciate Becky Lynch these days. She's been very very flexible for sure.
Yeah, and Becky and Lyra is clearly not over either. And Natalia was basically there to eat the pinfall. And Roxanne winning's the right move. She joins Alexa Bliss. Like I said, if Naomi's not, I mean, Naomi's my pick to win Money in the Bank. If Naomi's not in the match, I'm going with Roxanne Perez to win Money in the Bank. That's if Naomi's not in it. If Naomi's in it, then I'm going Naomi. If Naomi doesn't win, my backup plan B for her to win Money in the Bank is Roxanne Perez, if not Naomi.
Oh, wow.
I mean, because Roxanne Perez, this is her NXT call up to the main roster to Raw from NXT. You want, like, she gets called up to Raw, and you want to have her make an even bigger, like, you want to have her make a really big splash, and within a short time win the Money in the Bank. You want to make an instant. You want to make like a nice big moment, big impact to try and make a new star. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think it would come off great for Roxanne Perez, and she's definitely one of the future pieces of the company. And you know they're going to push her big, and like in the future, you know they're going to push her really, really big. So if Roxanne Perez wins the Money in the Bank briefcase, it would not surprise me if they don't go with Naomi. But I'm going Naomi to win the briefcase if Naomi's in it, which I think she will.
Wow.
But this was some good stuff with Roxanne Perez, Becky Lynch, and Natalia. We then go to a backstage segment with Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. They talk about the main event. We then go to backstage with Adam Pearce with Alpha Academy, Chad Gable, Ivy Nile, and the New Day to set up the World Tag Team title match for next week. Who gives a shit? Move on. I could give two shits less about the Raw Tag division. This is why we need a draft. Like, they need the draft to fix the Raw Tag division and the SmackDown Women's division. You don't even need to do much with the draft if they have a draft this year. All you got to do is fix the SmackDown Women's division, the Raw Tagging division, then move some mid-card guys and some big stars. Like, have them get change of scenery, someone from SmackDown to Raw, someone from Raw to SmackDown, as far as like some mid-card guys and some main event players. Not a lot. I mean I would at least some mid-carders, at least some main event talent guys, like especially a lot of those that need a change of scenery. And that's how I would do the draft. And I don't know how they're going to do a draft this year. I'm a little nervous. Like, I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't really have a lot of confidence, and I'm hoping they do a draft this year. They do it right and better than last year, because last year was not good. And I honestly feel like last year's draft ruined and shafted SmackDown. And I'm hoping that's not the case this year. What I hope and pray they don't do is like how the NFL does it. Like, because like, look at last year. Jade Cargill drafted SmackDown last year, yet she was already on SmackDown. So it's a waste of time at that point. It's a waste of pick, and what's even the point? Like, if like it just devalues the draft at that point. Like, you want to take the draft seriously, at least have people from a previous show switch to a different show. You know, when you have someone already on the same show, drafted the same show, it just waters the draft down and just makes the draft feel very, very irrelevant and just completely useless. So I'm hoping to God they don't do for the format for this year's draft that they have it. I hope they don't do it like last year, and I hope they change it up and do something to make it better than last year, because last year's was terrible. It was not good at all.
Yeah. And I mean, hell, I went to one of the shows where they had the shakeup, and it I don't know. Like, I feel like these shakeups and I feel like these rosters don't have enough leeway. That's why we're seeing the same shit every year. I don't think
like Gunther was on Raw. It's like he's drafted to Raw. Like what? Like what? Like it was already on Raw.
Yeah.
Like there's like that means no change. It's just it's stupid. Well, he was
I
already
think
on
the
the show.
I just think the whole brand split is stupid.
And CM Punk was selected in the second round. He should have been the first round. Why would you have him in the second round? And I don't get it. I don't get it.
You have your best guys in the second round.
And then the majority of rosters felt the same when you had the same draft picks for the same brand. No change whatsoever. None. They got to change it up. They seriously have to change up the format.
I wonder if you should put CM Punk on
SmackDown. Because NFL does it like how they do it doesn't mean you got to be like the NFL. And not everyone needs everyone's got to be drafted. Not everyone needs to be drafted.
No.
And besides, with SmackDown going back to 2 hours soon and Raw now 2.5 hours on Netflix, you don't need to have like 6 rounds where everyone's drafted just to draft everyone for the sake, just to get everyone on the draft. Not everyone needs to be drafted.
Yeah.
Not everyone needs to be drafted. So I'm hoping they change the format this year for the draft if they have it this year. But we then go to the next match of the night, Sheamus against Grayson Waller. We got Let's Go Theory chants. We got Theory and Waller tease their breakup. Sheamus grabs Waller by the head, gives the 10 beats of the bell drum, lands a bro kick on Grayson Waller. 1, 2, 3. Thanks for coming, Mr. Grayson Waller, as Sheamus picks up the win. I mean, I like Sheamus, and he's banger after banger. But honestly, I don't take the A-Town Down Under seriously anymore. They're going to break up soon. It's inevitable. I mean, honestly, Theory and Waller should be, at this point, on their own. Again, if there's a draft this year, I would definitely move one of these two to SmackDown. I know they moved to Raw in the transfer window early this year, but please, for the love of God, I mean, they're losers, and I honestly think Theory's going to go face with this split. I don't know how you feel about it.
I don't know. I'm even wondering if we should have
this match. Sheamus was. It's nice to see Sheamus. He's great, and he's going to do big things. He's going to do big things. He's going to do good big things. But Austin Theory. I mean Grayson Waller. Sorry, not Austin Theory. Austin Theory was ringside for Grayson Waller. A-Town Down Under is going to break up pretty soon. I mean, I don't really give a shit. I don't. I mean, this was just there, and I didn't really care for this. I didn't. I'm sure you probably didn't either. A lot of the show, at least some of the show tonight, something was off because the past several weeks coming out of WrestleMania were very good story-driven Raws, and something was very off tonight. I don't know if they just phoned it in. I don't know what the fuck happened tonight. I feel like after the tag team match, after the tag team match and the Roxanne Perez qualifying for Money in the Bank, after that started going down. I don't know what happened.
Random. It felt random, and you can't have a random match. You have to have a deliberate card. You have to have your card be
king. If you don't have story, how are the fans supposed to give a shit of what you're putting on television?
Right. Like that's Wrestling 101. We have, like, even at KCXW, we just had a show Saturday, or no, was it Saturday? It would have been Sunday. We had a show Sunday, and it was Mayhem. We call it KCXW Checkpoint, but this month was Mayhem. And we had certain guys wrestle that night. We did that on purpose. We did that for crowd. We did that for story, and it worked out super well. We had, I think we had 61 tickets sold, which is really good for the Kansas City area. And the deal is, the deal is, you have to be deliberate with your story. You can't just revamp before a pay-per-view. You cannot have story changes. You cannot have changes in characters before a damn pay-per-view. It just doesn't work. It doesn't.
No, yeah. We move on though to the with Gunther and Seth Rollins backstage. They're teasing something about maybe Seth wins the Bank. I mean, they just had a segment backstage thing, was okay. Money in the Bank qualifying match, second one for the Raw ladies, as far as that's concerned. Kairi Sane, who is back, got injured in January. She came back tonight. She throws gold coins to the crowd. So you're seeing somewhat of a pirate princess of Kairi Sane. And they didn't even mention Damage Control in Kairi Sane's when Lisa Taylor announced Kairi Sane for her entrance. So it looks like Damage Control is dead, and thank goodness.
Yeah, I don't like Damage Control. It's a dead.
It worked for a while that it had for over the past year at least, but then there was no point of it anymore.
Ever since Bayley left, ever since they had Bayley leave it, that's when it started going downhill.
Yeah,
that's exactly when. And Bayley isn't a singles person anymore. She was good for the first little bit of her reign, but she's like a Jey Uso, kind of better in a tag team right now.
Well, I don't know if I'd say that. Well, I mean, Bayley, that she is more of a fan base. She's probably has more of a fan base than Jay does. I mean, she's more credible as a singles wrestler than Jay is, but that's not saying much.
I agree.
But
in the same category, at least.
But now all we need is Asuka back, which she should be back hopefully soon from injury, and let's get her on her own. Maybe we have a draft and we move her to SmackDown since Kairi Sane's on Raw.
Well, we can't have both Asuka and Rhea Ripley go to SmackDown.
Well, I mean, look at the women's division on SmackDown. It's very mid. Look who they have.
Sure, but that's why you build it from NXT.
Plus, Stephanie Stratton needs some challengers.
Yeah, but you're not going to put a face with a face. Asuka should not be a heel. That doesn't work for Asuka. Asuka does not work well as a heel.
What, a heel Asuka and a face Tiffany?
See, I don't. Yeah, I would rather you turn Rhea.
Then again, where's the story? You need story. That's another thing.
Yeah. So the issue is,
if you're going to do it, you got to have a mixed sense.
So the issue is, Asuka does not play a good heel, and Asuka is way better with the crowd when she's a face. She is way better in the ring when she's a face. As a heel, I don't think she understands the concept of being a heel. I think as a face, she would get over big time. And the deal is, I think if you are going to have a shakeup, if you're really going to put a star on your brand and turn them so that Tiffany Stratton can get a heel against her title, even Tiffany could probably be a heel, honestly. She's pretty good at it, but if you are gonna move somebody in a desperate move, you're either going to have to move Rhea Ripley and turn her heel, or you're going to have to do not Liv, not Raquel, not shit. There's not a lot of heels on Raw, basically, but
they just got Julia on SmackDown. It's too early right now for Julia.
Correct.
We could do her, but I wouldn't do Julia just yet.
No, I don't. I wouldn't put anybody unless it's like Stephanie. Stephanie would be ready, but other than that,
unless it's Stephanie, Stephanie would be nice.
Stephanie is the most ready, in my opinion, for the NXT roster that's coming to the main roster. As for, I feel like the only person that makes sense that you can turn heel to go against the women's championship is Rhea. Rhea's already showing her heel colors. Fucking pull the trigger on it.
Yeah. But we got Kairi Sane, Rhea Ripley, speaking of Rhea Ripley, and Zoe in a Money in the Bank qualifying match, another one. We discussed the Kairi Sane Zoe Stark spot already early in the show. Zoe Stark screaming in pain. You see the referees rush her. We go to commercial break, and this was definitely not planned. Very clunky match. The triple threat earlier was much better than this one. Like, what the fuck was this? And I love Zoe. I love Rhea. I love Kairi. Love Kairi to death. But there was something very off with this match. I don't know what the hell it was, but something was miscue was definitely non-existent. There was this not a good match at all. I'm sorry, it wasn't. And I really think Kyrie was probably supposed to win this match because she returned tonight, and Zoe was going to eat the pin, and then Rhea not factoring into the pinfall was probably going to face Io Sky for the women's world title at Money in the Bank. And it looks like Rhea and Io for the women's world title is probably delayed for. It's probably going to get delayed for now because they teased at the end of Raw last week. So it's probably on the back burner for now until after Money in the Bank, I'm assuming. Probably for either for United Champions in Saudi or that Evolution show they do Io and Rhea for the women's world title instead. It's one of those shows at this point because I think we were gonna get it for Money in the Bank, but now those plans have to be pushed back or delayed because of what happened to Zoe Stark tonight.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I think this Money in the Bank match is going to be the Dictator.
Yeah, and after Zoe got injured and then down to Kyrie and Rhea, it's like, okay, who can really lose? Rhea's your big star. She can't lose. Kyrie Sane just came back. She can't lose either. So who should – I know neither one can lose, and Zoe was supposed to eat the pin. So who do you pin at this point? Because Zoe can't. She's hurt. I mean, I thought Kyrie looked all right, and I'm hoping because she got no reaction the last time before she got hurt. I hope it's different this time. We'll see what happens, and time will tell. But Rhea Ripley qualified. Honestly, I think Kyrie should have won, but I think with Zoe Stark's injury, they probably had to call an audible on this match and have Rhea win instead.
Yeah,
I don't think she was supposed to win at all.
I
I'll be
honest. I don't think so. I think there was definitely an audible pulled, and I trust what's going to happen, but I don't trust what is. I don't trust that this week told what we're looking for in the future. Do I think everything will play out the way it needs to? Absolutely, but I think when it comes to right now, I think everything's just scrambled right now, and we won't know until. But even if we put CM Punk on SmackDown, that would be a shakeup, a massive shakeup.
But then who do you move him for? Because Raw's the A show as well. That's another thing to think about.
Sure, but
I don't know. Maybe they move Roman, but he's a part-time guy.
I wouldn't move Roman. Roman's not going to do shit.
Or actually, he was not in the draft last year. He's still technically a free agent because remember, Paul Heyman said around the beginning of last year's draft, Roman's not in either draft pool for last year's draft because Heyman pulled him out of there because he's a free agent. So Roman really right now still is not assigned to Raw and is not assigned to SmackDown. He's a free agent.
Honestly, I think you could move LA Knight and be just fine.
LA Knight, I would absolutely move to Raw. Get him away from the fucking bloodline.
But I think that's
LA Knight versus the bloodline. I'm tired of that.
I think that's a good arrangement, though. I think you put Punk on SmackDown, bring LA Knight to Raw. Even that would be a pretty solid trade-off. I mean, it's not a trade-off, but you know what I mean. It's.
I don't know if I call it even because Punk's a bigger star, but.
Yes, but it gives LA Knight more to play with.
Or maybe you do like a 2-for-1 or 3-for-1. Move Punk and for LA Knight and one or two other people.
But that doesn't work
because that's how big of a name Punk is. Because
that doesn't. I don't think that works for for roster spots. You have to have enough on the roster, and the problem is SmackDown doesn't have enough to give.
Right.
So
I don't think they're going to move the Bloodline.
The Bloodline has to stay on SmackDown.
Yeah, they're not. I don't think they're going anywhere.
Because if you're going to move LA Knight, then you're not going to move the Bloodline. If you're going to move the Bloodline, LA Knight's staying on SmackDown, along with guys like Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest just got there. You're not going to move them back to Raw.
Right.
So
yeah, Drew and Priest would definitely keep on SmackDown. I would not even have them in. I would honestly have them exempt from the draft. The same thing with Julia, Aleister Black, Frax. Yeah, same thing with Julia, Aleister Black, and Fraxium. Because Julia, Aleister Black, and Fraxium just got to SmackDown. Those ones, even those especially, I would keep them exempt from the draft. You know?
Yeah.
But Rhea Ripley wins. It gives some star power. I don't think she needs to be in the match, but I think with the Zoe Stark injury, there was no other choice. Oh, I mean, I'm glad to see Kairi Sane back. She looked all right, but I do think she was going to win. But the Zoe Stark injury really changed plans, unfortunately, and it sucks how it happened.
Yeah,
But I don't think Rhea Ripley's winning the briefcase. I don't think she needs to. I don't think she wins. I don't think she needs it.
if she does, then that is where you'd have to. I think that is what would be a good way to kind of like pull a CM Punk, where if you really need to show a heel turn and you need to get the title off of Stratton to kind of just have like a piggyback, if you want to do CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy, this is it. You have black versus pink. You have Rage and you have Happy. You have all that. Go on the SmackDown with the Money in the Bank briefcase, cash it in on Tiffany Stratton when she least suspects it. Get a little bit of heat going into that, and then you have a really good dynamic that can carry SmackDown moving forward.
And if you look at the SmackDown Women's Division, I know Charlotte's heel, but nobody wants to see her. She's feuding with Alexa, apparently. Alexa's kind of a tweener. Nia Jax just lost to Tiffany. Good match with Tiffany last week, but lost to Tiffany, and Nia and Tiffany been there, done that. The only credible heel on SmackDown Women's Division I can think of at this moment is Naomi, and there's not much outside of that. Candice LeRae hasn't been seen on TV in several weeks, no reaction. Chelsea Green is a comedy goofball. Alba Piper Niven are with Chelsea Green as a duo. So there's not really much outside of Naomi for heels for the SmackDown Women's Division. Maybe Rhea go to SmackDown, turn heel is the right move, and maybe that would bring, because I know Tiffany Stratton with the Toodles and Valley Girl, maybe it would bring more of a seriousness out of Tiffany like it did towards the end of her NXT run, especially when Becky Lynch was NXT Women's Champion and Tiffany was all serious and like talking like tough girl and throwing the word bitch. And maybe this would bring the fire out of Tiffany with Rhea if she was a heel, and bring that intensity out of Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think the whole women's division just needs a whole shakeup for both shows.
Absolutely, I would move Rhea Ripley to SmackDown. She's never been a part of SmackDown before. She's been on Raw for 4 years, has done everything, and she absolutely could desperately use a change of scenery. And after she loses to Io Sky eventually and inevitably, there's nothing left for Rhea on Raw. She's not beating Io Sky. She's not. So what else do you do with Rhea? So what else more do you do with Rhea Ripley on Raw at that point?
Yeah, you can't. You have nothing because Rhea Ripley's done it all. Rhea Ripley has
fought
done it all.
and she's fought almost everyone on Raw too.
And you can have it where she's facing NXT stars, but the problem is now you've already done that on Raw.
I know Rhea Ripley's over as a face. She's really that over as a face, but there's no heels. Not much heels.
Yeah, I would love to see Rhea Ripley go back to heel. I thought they were going to do that. They teased the shit out of it for Mania, and they never did it. She was just kind of being a tweener. But with a tweener, at some point you have to pull the trigger and do a thing.
Or a tweener would work.
Right. The problem being a tweener, at some point you have to make a change.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it as long as
there we go.
All right, but yeah.
Sorry, my Wi-Fi is messing up.
Tweener. I mean, if they do it right, it could work.
If you do it right, it can work. But what I'm saying is it's like with a tweener, at some point you can't be a tweener. You have to make the change. And I think Rhea plays a great heel. I think Rhea's great when she makes the change in her character. But if you're gonna make a damn change, like make her heel. I don't like when people make changes and don't change their point of views. I want face or heel change with that. You know, and sometimes you can get away with change of person, keep the face title, or change of person, keep heel. With Rhea, she needs that. She really deserves to have a heel moment again.
Yeah.
And don't worry about ticket sales. Don't worry about merchandise, because you better believe it. Rhea Ripley was one of the most bought merchandise sales, like the most sales for WWE at one point was Rhea Ripley, and she was a freaking heel. So don't worry about merchandise sales. That won't go away.
Yeah.
Same
But
for Cena.
we then get a Rusev video package. Apparently, Rusev on Raw next week is wrestling Akira Tozawa. They have the Raw lineup for Raw in Tampa, Yingling Center next week for Monday Night Raw. That 4-day Tampa weekend with Saturday night's main event, NXT Battleground, Raw, and then NXT after Battleground for Memorial Day weekend this upcoming weekend. They have for Raw announced next week Yingling Center in Tampa, Florida. Rusev against Akira Tozawa. World Tag Team title match of the New Day, War Raiders, and American Made. Then the Raw Men's Money in the Bank qualifying matches. They haven't announced who will be in those. I'm assuming Braun Breaker will be in one of them, and I think he will qualify. I'd be shocked if he's not in at least one of them, but we'll see. I think I'm predicting it now. At least Braun Breaker will qualify for Money in the Bank. Seth and or Braun will qualify for Money in the Bank. But that's your Raw lineup for next week. And then we get to the main event, non-title match. Jey Uso, World Heavyweight Champ, he does his typical yeet with the crap from the crowd, makes his way down to the ring. Then we get Braun Breaker coming out with Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins. Braun Breaker does his usual, leaps off the apron to take out the opponent over the announce table, which goes to commercial break. We have Seth win by DQ and Seth Rollins on the outside blast Jey Uso from behind, ends in a DQ. Like I said, Braun was not the champ, and he felt more of a world champ in this match than the world champ Jey Uso did. And that's me being honest with all you guys. And no disrespect to Jey, but I can't buy into Jey Uso as a world champ anymore. It's time to get the belt off him soon. The sooner the better, honestly. But Seth ends this match in DQ. He has Jey win by DQ when Seth attacked Jey from behind on the outside. Referee calls for the bell for disqualification. Then Jey's thrown back in the ring. He's getting beaten down by Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. Sami Zayn then comes out, makes the save. He hops up on the apron, stares down at both Braun and Seth. He's sitting there staring at them. Then CM Punk's music hits. He comes to a big pop in Greensboro, who was a good crowd tonight. Very loud crowd tonight. CM Punk comes down to the ring, and Greensboro is singing CM Punk's Cult of Personality theme, which I thought was great. Punk power walks down to the ring, and Punk and Sami are beating down Seth and Braun into the crowd. Punk even jumped off the barricade, double axe handle both Seth and Braun, and they still fight in the crowd. We then get Jey Uso in the middle of the ring standing, then out of nowhere, right before the Raw end credits, right out of nowhere, a knockout punch to Jey Uso from Logan Paul. He had some bloody teeth on his mouth. And Logan Paul lays out Jey Uso at the end of Raw tonight for the Raw Go-Home show for Saturday night's main event this Saturday in Tampa. And Logan Paul stands tall. The ending of Raw tonight. And we know Logan Paul is not winning the world title this Saturday. I'm just saying. Logan Paul stood tall. He ain't winning that title. So, thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. And I think it was definitely, it felt like a weak main event, to be honest with you.
And just a weak Raw in general tonight, after the tag match and the Roxanne match. Yeah. It just fell off a cliff tonight after that.
And it's the same thing we've been seeing for the past few weeks, too. That's the other issue. It's the same stuff.
The shake-up, they need it.
Yeah.
Both shows, especially SmackDown. SmackDown the past couple weeks has actually been getting better. SmackDown the past couple weeks coming out of Mania has actually been cooking.
Yeah.
We had Tiffany Stratton back to the women's title, great main event last week with SmackDown. Fraxium and DIY, which is a banger. Aleister Black and Carmelo Hayes cooked on Friday as well.
Yeah, I'm glad
SmackDown-
Fraxium are getting what they're getting because they are a big tag team that deserves the shot.
Fraxium. Oh yeah, they're facing. Look what we're getting on SmackDown this Friday: the Street Profits and Fraxium for the tag titles. We got Aleister Black, LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, Money in the Bank qualifier. Charlotte Flair, Zelina Vega, and Julia in the women's Money in the Bank qualifier. I'll tell you, SmackDown's actually looking pretty decent this Friday.
Yeah.
I must say. But
So-
Raw felt very off tonight.
Um,
I'm hoping the next week. I'm hoping going to next week they bounce back, especially being in Tampa.
So with that being said, I know we don't have much time for the show. Oh, sorry, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, there we go. So I know we don't have much time left on the show, but very, very quickly, I want to go ahead and get our predictions for. I think there's 4 matches.
Yes.
Which I don't know why we're seeing the same shit, but okay. Some of the shit feels like stuff we've already seen. But it is what it is. So we have 4 matches. We have wait a minute.
Yeah,
Is
4
this
matches.
Is this right? Yeah. Okay. I guess this is right. So we have the first match is the Street Profits versus Fraxium for the WWE Tag Team Championships. Who do you
Wait,
have?
that's Friday. No, that's Friday night. That's not Saturday night's main event.
No, that's what it says. That's what it says on the card.
It's what? It's no it says
see
on
here.
Friday. There's no way it's on. No, that's
Oh
for
shit!
Friday.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Shit, you're right. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong things. I need to see the R-Truth match. There we go. There. Okay. There we go. I have the right. Okay, so 4 matches. It's Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest in the steel cage. Let's get that one going. There we go.
This one, I think, I think the steel cage stipulation makes this match better.
I agree.
And I think this should be pretty good. This one I'm actually looking forward to, and I think Damian Priest gets this win.
Oh.
And because it's a steel cage, you can win by pin submission or you can win by escaping the cage. I could see Priest winning by escaping the cage. That way it protects Drew McIntyre because I think they continue this going into SummerSlam, and that's the blow-off match. Like maybe make Priest and McIntyre in New Jersey at SummerSlam a last man standing, and that ends the feud.
See, I think it's going to be a pinfall, and I think it's going to be Drew McIntyre getting the win.
Interesting.
I think it's going to be pinfall. I think it's going to be a Claymore kick to Damian Priest, and I think the reason for that is technically at that point, it'll be like 2-1. It'll be it'll be McIntyre with 2, Priest with 1.
If Priest cashed in the briefcase last year, then he beat Drew for a second time at Glasgow last year. That's 2 actually.
Shit, you're right. Yeah, you're right. So you would
And
be
this
tied.
is 1 for Drew. So 2-1.
So then, yeah, wait. No, because Drew won at Mania.
No. Oh yeah, that Drew won at Mania this year.
Correct. So Drew has the 1.
Priest 2, Drew 1.
And then if you have Drew win this one, it's 2-2.
Yes, it's even.
So that would be really good for the build for SummerSlam, and I could see some really big last man standing because of the fact that it was so brutal in that fatal 4-way. We could definitely see Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest in a last man standing. I would love that, but I actually am going to say Drew McIntyre because, I mean, you keep that trilogy going. And Drew McIntyre already has a lot of experience with steel cage type of areas. It's about time he finally won one of those matches.
That's actually a very good point. I actually like that. It's a very, very good point there, Phyro. So I'm actually glad you brought that up. I mean, I was going to go with Priest, but Drew winning I would not be upset over.
All right, sweet. All right, let's move on to the tag match. Huh?
Or tag match. CM Punk
do
and
tag.
Sami Zayn against Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker.
Correct. Oh, my computer's messed up. There we go. That's correct. And shit, I think it's. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they're gonna give it to Braun and Rollins.
Yeah, and I think they should win. They just formed, and there's no reason for them to lose this quick. And they should really win, especially if one of them is about to take the world title off Jey Uso very soon, which I think does happen. And it makes no sense for Seth and Braun to go into this and lose. So I think the logical move is to give Seth and Braun the victory, and I think this may possibly main event. And if this main event, you got to give Seth and Braun to win.
I think you definitely have to build that team. You have to build the faction coming up. We don't even know if somebody's going to be getting involved. That's the other thing. I don't know who would be getting involved.
Do they have the third man revealed here? Is another thing.
That is what we're all looking at.
That's the interesting part right there.
Or are they going to save it for Money in the Bank, where they're going to pull a Kane and have where Kane was helping Seth Rollins win the Money in the Bank? Are we going to have the third member at Money in the Bank be reviewed to help Braun Breaker get the briefcase?
That's another one. Yeah, maybe.
That would be great. I would definitely love to see that. But overall, definitely give the win to Rollins and Breaker. I believe Rollins would get the pinfall, and I think he's going to get the pinfall on.
I think on Punk.
I would say Punk, but he's been kind of avoiding pinning Punk for a while.
Well, it hasn't been pinned in a while though, and I don't think a loss on pinfall of Punk would hurt Punk at all.
Okay, yeah, I'll buy that. I don't mind saying that. I think I'll say
and
that.
If you're if it is gonna be Seth or Braun versus Sami for the world title at WrestleMania next year, then I mean I understand it's a year away if that's the plan. They could have Sami eat the pin, but I'm actually gonna go with Punk eating the pin since he hasn't been pinned in a while, and I don't think a pinfall loss to Seth and Braun this match will hurt Punk at all. He's pretty much bulletproof at this point.
Yeah.
So since Seth and Braun are the hot hands right now, you got to go with the hot hands. Who's hot and strike while the iron is hot, and they're the team. And Seth and Braun have the most momentum right now coming out of WrestleMania, and it's smart to keep that momentum going. Again, especially if one of them is taking that world title soon off of Jey Uso, which should be in the plans.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I agree.
Speaking of world title, Jey Uso and Logan Paul for the world title. Again, we said this several times throughout the show tonight. Logan Paul's not winning the title. No. It's basically predictable. It should be a very good match. I don't like Logan Paul as a person, but in the ring, he's a very good athlete. And I think he could bring Jey Uso to a decent match, I'm hoping. But it's predictable with Jey Uso winning. He's not losing that title. He's not losing that title until he puts the title on the line against either Braun Breaker or Seth Rollins. Then that's when you're taking that title off Jey Uso, not this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm picking Jey Uso. Who do you got? Jey Uso as well?
Yeah, I'm getting Jey Uso.
Predictable this match is, honestly.
Yeah. And then we have Cena versus R-Truth. Of course, R-Truth's childhood hero. And some people are saying that it may be R-Truth, but in like a non-title way.
This is actually not for the title.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It's non-title. I'm actually glad it's not for the title, because it's like John Cena. He's a champion, 17-time champion. He's now wrestling R-Truth. It's like, and some people are saying like, look at the state of the title, WWE title, where it was last year with Cody and AJ, now to this year with Cena and Truth. Some people may feel that way, and I don't blame those people, because just look what we're getting now with Cena. I know with The Rock, he should have showed up at WrestleMania 41 Night 2, and he said we got fucking Travis Scott. And look at Cena now. And I do feel like Cena's going to go face after he loses the title. I would say he loses the title at SummerSlam to either Cody Rhodes or CM Punk. One of them, I think, takes the belt off Cena at SummerSlam. I think that's the right call there. And because look, and R-Truth and John Cena, this is basically is set up for Cena's opponent, possibly for Money in the Bank, which might be Cody Rhodes. He may even show up on Saturday. Now, if Cena and Truth is the main event, Cody's going to come out. But if they open, maybe they don't have him. Maybe they have him return on the SmackDown after Saturday night's main event. But then again, does Cena even wrestle for Money in the Bank?
I think either way, we're going to have some kind of confliction with Cena. I think Cena's going to be conflicted that he's going to be.
Or do they have R-Truth and Cena? Cena beats Truth senseless. That they drag this into Money in the Bank, and this time treat Cena and Truth for the title at Money in the Bank. I don't know, probably not. I don't think that's honestly a big selling point for Money in the Bank. I wouldn't do it.
But I definitely can see this being I can definitely see Cena being conflicted, and that will probably make him a little bit distracted. And I think that's how R-Truth can kind of get the leverage and get the win from Cena.
But I think R-Truth is so blind because Cena's his hero. But I think Cena should go into this and beat Truth senseless, similar to how Roman Reigns beat Jey Uso senseless at Clash of Champions 2020. They should book. I think they need to book Cena and Truth like Jey and Roman from Clash of Champions 2020 when Roman's like, Jey, I want you to acknowledge me as a tribal chief, and Jey kept saying no, and he kept getting his ass handed to him every time after time. And then Jey's like, Jey, you're going to acknowledge me in the whole world that I'm the tribal chief, I'm the head of the table. And Jey was so defiant. And then Jimmy had to run out and throw the towel to have the match and to have the ref end the match like a technical knockout with Jimmy throwing in the towel for Jey. I think that's what they need to do here for Cena and John Cena and R-Truth at Saturday night's main event. I think that's how they need to book this.
Yeah, I don't think there should be another match though. I think
it should be a beatdown. Like I want to see blood. It needs to be a beatdown from Cena.
Oh shit! Hey, I mean, I guess.
and also because Rock refused to show up at WrestleMania. I mean, instead we got Travis Scott. I feel like coming out of Mania, Cena lost that heel heat. You want heat back on Cena. I think that would be could be something. Maybe, but just a thought. You have Cena just bust Truth, like have him all Truth all bloody wide open. Cena just beats the ever living shit out of R-Truth that gets some heat back on Cena that he lost at WrestleMania. And then it's when you have Cody Rhodes come out and save R-Truth. And maybe that's how you set up Cena and Cody for Money in the Bank on Saturday.
I feel like right now it's very hard to predict, to be honest, because Cody, I mean, that's the issue. It's like he can come anytime now, you know?
Yeah. I just hope we don't get that rumored tag match with John Cena and Travis Scott against Cody Rhodes and a tag team partner. I just hope to God we don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
If we got to do it, fine. Do it in Saudi. I don't want to see it at Money in the Bank. I don't want to see it at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And I know Travis. I mean, I heard Travis Scott's training with Booker T, but I just hope Travis Scott's good. But then again, he's a celebrity, doesn't belong in the fucking ring. I just hope. Since he's training under Booker T, apparently, according to rumors, I just hope I'm proven wrong about him in the ring. But right now, I'm not feeling it with Travis Scott. And right now, keep him out of the fucking ring. Guy gave Cody Rhodes a black eye for absolutely no reason at the Elimination Chamber. Like, what the fuck was that for? You know what I'm saying? And yeah. I feel like Triple H is all about long-term booking and long-term storytelling on Raw and SmackDown. You're not going to get that as long as Cena and Jey are the respective world champions. But once you take those belts off of them, then that's when we can get things back on track to where they need to be. As far as Triple H's long-term booking and storytelling is concerned, then we can get back on track to where things should be and are supposed to be. Honestly, once those belts are off Jey Uso and John Cena. Because I don't expect John Cena to hold the title towards going into the end of the year. I don't see it. I think that's a bad move. Because Cena's a part-time guy in his retirement year, and it's basically Cena as champion now on SmackDown kind of reminds me of when Brock Lesnar was the part-time world champion, holding the title hostage. And Cena has his limited dates. and you need the world WWE title full time on the SmackDown show, and it's not because of Cena being part time. And there's a reason the U.S. title has stepped up lately on SmackDown. That's why. There's a reason for it. And I feel like it's just. And this is no disrespect to Cena. This is why I feel like Cena needs to drop that belt by at least SummerSlam so he can get things back on track.
Yeah.
Whether he drops it to CM Punk or Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, one of them has to beat Cena for the title at SummerSlam. That has to be either of those two, Cody or Punk.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm all for that. I'm all for whatever WWE has in mind, honestly. Like, because as long, I agree with you, as long as Cody Rhodes is not at SummerSlam versus Cena, I want that at another time.
Or you could give it back to Cody. I wouldn't mind either, as long as it's off Cena. Yeah. Maybe have Cody win it off Cena, then Orton wins it towards the end of the year from Cody.
Yeah.
But hey, listen, as long as the belt's off Cena, that's all I care about.
I don't mind Cena holding the title. I like this. I like that it's the end, his last year, and I like that he's getting a lot of guys. You know, I think guys like R-Truth, and I think other people are going to start benefiting from Cena holding this title and kind of having almost like a midlife crisis in the middle of it, to the point where he might even be a tweener. He might be a tween guy. He might start looking at perspectives and start turning face again and being liked at the very end. And you know, I kind of like what they're doing, honestly. I like what they're starting to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I like that he's still champion, and I think they should definitely keep him champion for a while.
Yeah. Like I said, till at least SummerSlam, but we'll see what happens. But folks, that is not only the preview predictions for Saturday night's main event for this Saturday, but also that is that for the Raw post-show coverage for Raw May the 19th of 2025.
You said that date.
May 19th.
Damn it.
Yeah, I know Kane's not happy. So, anyways, but yeah, hit the like on the video and subscribe to Furious Nation Hardcore Sports Network. Hit the bell for all notifications and follow Phyro and myself on social media on X, links in the description. And we got a big week coming up. We got the we got the Queens of the Ring. We got the Hot Takes and Headlocks. We got the SmackDown Watch Party this Friday with Mitch and I. Will be in the house for Friday Night SmackDown this week, the night before Saturday night's main event. We also got Saturday night's main event, Mitch and I on Saturday. Adam, Carl, and I for the NXT Battleground Watch Party this Sunday. A Sunday as well. And lots of good content like that coming up here on the platform, so look forward to that. We appreciate you guys joining us here tonight for the Raw post-show coverage, and we appreciate you joining us, and we appreciate every one of you. And
Absolutely.
Overall, we appreciate every single one of you, and thank you guys so much for joining us. And Phyro, question for you. Any other words before we get the hell out of here?
Good question, Sir Nick. No, nothing else really, except for, what Nick said. I appreciate you all for joining us tonight. We actually got a little bit more viewers than usual, so I am very grateful for that. And if you guys like our predictions, comment down below what you guys think. If you guys think we're stupid, then, just be like, hey, that was a stupid comment or something. Give us something. Comment something. Whatever it is. We'll take the criticism, or we'll take good stuff.
Or if it's okay, I have to say this real quick. Just don't be like that Sergio guy last week.
Fuck that guy.
No, I don't talk to people who watch. I don't talk to people who watch WWE or watch wrestling. okay, then this is not the show to watch. Go listen to somebody else who's gonna favor your liking. That, I mean, we're talking about wrestling. You don't like us talking about wrestling? Tough shit.
Yeah. Agreed.
Oh, what? Oh, I asked you this. I asked you the same thing. Oh, WWE is bad. I asked you the same thing. And then you wonder why he got blocked for his troubles, and he's banned, and he's not getting unblocked.
Yeah, he's not.
Yeah,
But what my father always.
Oh boy, there we go. Uh-oh.
There.
All right.
Father is always. Oh
Shit.
Oh.
Oh fuck.
Just cut it. Just cut it. I'll say it next week.
There we go. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with Pyro's computer. Maybe Kane's invading, but it's that date that he doesn't like. But we'll catch you later, guys. You guys have a good night. We'll see you next time here on the platform. Peace.